Good morning, everyone. It has been a really long night, and if you don't follow me on social media, then you don't really know anything, but this is going to be kind of a story time type vlog intro, but I will try to cover everything. I'll try to remember everything. But basically, after I left off in yesterday's vlog, I was kind of worried that she was getting dehydrated. But they said, you know, don't worry about it. They gave me a few things, like stuff to look out for. And so it came around to about 7 o'clock that night, and Addie hadn't had a wet diaper in about 7.5 hours. And they said that 8 was the minimum that you want them, like 8 hours is the minimum that you want them to be going without a wet diaper. So I was like, okay, we should probably call the doctor. And because she wasn't eating, she doesn't really want to eat right now, like at all. She will just eat like a half an ounce or an ounce here or there, but she really hasn't been wanting to eat. So I called the on-call doctor, and the on-call doctor was like, you know, it's probably fine. She's probably is dehydrated, but she's probably fine. She'll probably start eating a lot, like eating more. They said, like, let us know if in a few more hours she still hasn't had a wet diaper, or if she still doesn't eat. And so, because she was still eating a little bit. And so we were like, okay, that's fine. And so she did end up having a little bit of a wet diaper, and she ate a little bit. So we're like, okay, we're fine. But then, but she still wasn't eating a lot or anything. She just ate a little bit. But then we put her to bed, and we put on her owlet. And as you guys know, they thought that she had RSV, and that kind of causes like troubles breathing and everything. And I didn't know. They kept asking me like, well, is she having troubles breathing? I'm like, I don't know. They gave me like different stuff to look for, but it didn't really make sense to me. I was like, I don't know, because I don't know. I've never like looked at her stomach and seen like how fast she's breathing. I don't really know what fast breathing is. Like, I don't really know what to look for, I guess. So I had no idea. And so we put her owlet on because she was going to go to sleep, and she always wears it at night. So we put it on her to go to sleep like we always do. And if you don't have an owlet, they have 2 different readings. They have the beats per minute, and let me see. It has a heart rate, and low is 60 and high is 220. And so if it gets above 220, it'll alert you, and if it gets below 60, it'll alert you. And for the oxygen level, like how much oxygen she's getting, it's 100 is obviously max, and then 80%, below 80% is low, and it will alert you. And we've had this for 5 months, and it's never had any sort of red alert is what it's called. It's never alerted us because of that reason. There are yellow alerts, which is when like the sock is misplaced, or it like she wiggles out of it a little bit, or it's not like properly on her foot, and those happen a lot. They happen a ton if you have an owlet. It's so annoying, but it lets you know if it's like not getting a good reading. And so, but we'd never had a red alert, and so we put it on her and we put her to bed, and you can like turn it on from the app on your phone. And so I turned it on. She'd been asleep for like 5 minutes, and I turned it on, and it started reading everything, and she was at like 82. And I was like, that's weird, because it's never, usually her beats per minute are like around like 130s, and her oxygen level has never gone below 95. That 95 is like if she's like really asleep, but it's usually at like 97, 98. And so I was like, what? Like, that's really weird. And then all of a sudden it alerted us. It like had the whole red alert really loud, and so I turned it off really quick because I didn't want it to wake her up, because I was like, what the heck? That had never happened. And so I turned it off, and then I gave it like 30 seconds and I turned it back on and it did it again, and then I turned it back off. And obviously Brandon at this point was going in to check on her to make sure that she was okay, you know, like, I mean obviously she was breathing, but you know what I mean. And so then I turned it back off a third time, and then I turned it back on and it did the same thing. And so I had to turn it off or else it was just gonna keep going off. And so Brandon was in there checking on her, making sure that she was okay, and she was really, really sleepy. He even like moved because it wasn't that, it tells you, like I said, if it's like not getting a good reading. So we knew that it wasn't that, and it's never done this before, so it was like, it was real. And so we went in and we or he was in there with her, and he moved her foot around to see if it would get a different reading, and that didn't help because obviously it was real and it tells you if it's not getting a good reading. But she was like not responding, and I don't mean like he could see that she was breathing, but she was just like so asleep. And even when she is so asleep, it's never done that before. And so we decided to call back, and so they said to come in. And so we got everything all packed up, and Brandon was still in there with her just to, you know, make sure that she was okay. And her levels started going up. At one point they were like consistently at like 87, which is still low, but obviously that's better than below 80. And so we put her in the car seat. She didn't even really wake up for that. I think that she was really tired, but still that shouldn't have been happening. But yeah, they told us to go to the ER, and so we went into the ER, and so that's where I started filming a little bit, and so we have a little bit of footage. But we went to the ER. So when we got to the hospital, they hooked her up to everything, vital signs, how much oxygen, everything like that. And he listened to her chest and her lungs and everything like that. And he said that it could be RSV, but like our doctor didn't want to test for that because there's nothing really that they can do. There's no treatment for it. They do the same thing for RSV that they do for like a really bad cold. So he was like, I'm not going to waste your money on a test that isn't going to do anything. The only reason that they would do the RSV test is to rule it out, like if they thought that she had pneumonia or something. So they didn't do the RSV test, so we still don't know if she has RSV because there's no treatment. There's really nothing that they could do except for help you through it. And so yeah. Back in the room. She's awake. They got her all hooked up. We got her little... Jesus,
kicking away.
Her little... what is this called?
Monitor?
Well, the... whatever. She's got her little oxygen monitor. She's doing good so far. Come, babies. Yeah. Doctor's gonna come back. Gotta hook her up to there and everything. Yeah. How you doing, babes? You can probably take this thing off of her. Yeah. Should we get you out? How you doing? How you doing? They didn't test her for RSV, but they did listen to everything, and everything seemed fine. But her oxygen levels kept reading really low. But he said that since everything looked fine and sounded fine, he said that he thought that maybe it wasn't reading really well. And so they tried a foot monitor for that. They tried a hand monitor, and then they ended up trying actually a face monitor too. Like it was across her forehead, and everything was reading low. Yeah, they can't get a reading.
Keep showing low, huh?
So they ended up going back to the foot monitor and it was still reading really low. Sometimes it was getting down to like 76, and they said, I think that it's just reading low, but after all of that, I mean, I kind of disagree. They said that they thought, I don't know, they said that she seemed fine, but she was really congested. And so what they did was they nose suckered her out, and we've been using like the saline and the bulb, and that has been not really getting anything out. It's like so far back there, and even they couldn't get it out with their saline and their syringe. And so they had to, this machine on the wall that like suctions, like it was a whole machine, and so they suctioned out her nose with some saline with that, and that got some. And so then and then they gave her some oxygen, and she really hated that, but they gave her some oxygen and her levels went to like 95, and so she was doing better. And so then they took her off of the oxygen and she was still doing fine, and her oxygen levels were still good and she was doing better. So they decided that they would send us home since she was doing fine. And so we went home. So yeah, that was everything, and we kept her owlet on and it seemed to be at least in the 90s. It never alerted us again throughout the night, but they said to call immediately and probably get in to our doctor just to check up on her. And so I don't know, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to call, and it was just a really scary night. Honestly, like, I'm so thankful to the owlet. Like, I kind of always felt like it was just for me, and like it was never really gonna go off. It just like was there to make me feel better. But after this, like, I would have never known that she was having troubles breathing. Like, I didn't know what to look for. I didn't, like, you can't just look at a baby and know that their oxygen is low. Like, you have no idea. And so I'm really thankful that it's gone back up, and I think that it was like the oxygen and getting her nose, you know, suctioning it out. And so yeah, we're gonna call the doctor again, and I'm just kind of worried because I feel like she didn't go to sleep again while she was at the hospital, so I feel like she might be having trouble breathing while she's sleeping, and that's why they were able to like get it back up or something. I don't know, it's just something to think about. But yeah, I'm going to call the doctor now and see what they have to say, see if they do want to see us. I'm gonna guess that they're gonna want to see us, you know, just to check up on her again. But I'm kind of hoping that they will give us something for her dehydration and something for her breathing, like a breathing treatment or something, because I feel like, and she's been worse this morning. She's been coughing like even more, and so she's still pretty cleared. I think that really got her good, but like her suction, but she's been coughing more. And if this is RSV, they said that it's going to get worse before it gets better, so I really don't want to mess with that, and I really just want to get her in. So I'm going to call her doctor now.
And what is the message regarding?
Well, she was in the ER last night, so they told us to call first thing in the morning.
All right, well, I will go ahead and send this back.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, I left a message, and so hopefully they'll call me back and we can get in today and see what they can do, just because I'm still really scared. Like, the owlet doesn't work if they're like wiggling, and so I like can't have it on her while she's awake or anything like that, so I will have no idea. I mean, obviously you can kind of tell, like, if they're, I mean, you can tell, I mean, if you like watch them, but I don't know. That was just really scary, and I want to better be safe than sorry than to have something happen. If any of you were debating on getting the owlet, I would definitely do it. Like, even if you have to do like the financing, it is so worth it. I would highly recommend it. I I never actually thought that it would actually go off, and it did. And she's 5 months old. Like, I feel like people think that it's for newborns. It's definitely not. We're gonna be continuing to use it probably until she's like a year. At that point, I bet that she'll like start like being able to physically take it off. But I would definitely recommend it, even if your baby is 6 months old. You never know what can happen, especially like when they're sick. But anyways, I'm going to wait for a call back.
Okay, how's she doing this morning?
She's been coughing even more.
Oh, yeah, let's get her in sooner. Don't want to... Could you come in... I mean, it's 22. I have a 10:45.
Okay, that would work.
If she's having, an increased difficulties, breathing at all, I want you to just go ahead and head into the office, but we have you on for 10:45, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Okay, I just got a call back, and we are going to be going in at 10:45. So, we'll see what they have to say. I'm hoping that they don't just see that her levels, are good now and don't do anything, because they were, I don't know. I would feel a lot more comfortable having her being looked at. So yeah, better safe than sorry, but she's gonna be waking up soon, and then we will head to the doctor's. Okay, well, I was just editing this vlog because she's still asleep, and I wanted to get a head start on it because it's probably gonna be another hard day, but it's already like 16 minutes long, and I don't want this to be like a 40-minute long video. And I want to get this up today because, some people from Twitter and Instagram knew that we were at the ER, and I don't want you guys to have to wait like 2 days to know what's going on. So I'm going to hopefully get this uploaded today. But anyways, I'm just going to end this vlog here, and then I'll start a new one, and then the new one from the doctor's office and everything will be tomorrow. But anyways, we will keep you updated. If you do want like actual updates like as they're happening, please follow my Twitter, and Twitter is the one that I can do most, but in Instagram, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes Facebook and Snapchat, but I will leave all of the links to those down in the description. But anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everyone.